Hi guys, my name is Jamie and this is my presentation on age-appropriate expectations. So first we're going to talk about classroom expectations. Expectations are established at the beginning of the school year so that students are aware of classroom rules, regular due dates, like homework, and what to expect from their teachers. Some of the biggest priorities in terms of expectations in the classroom are to be kind, to be respectful, and to be curious. Next, we're going to talk about the student age group and teacher count. So the age group of children that I work with are preschoolers, so majority of them are 4 to 5 year olds. And the teachers present in the classroom are Miss Tammy, who is our lead instructor, Miss Carrie, our co-instructor, Miss Shelley, our teacher's aide, and I volunteer every Wednesday. Next, we're going to talk about play routines and expectations. So we're going to go over 4 different routines or play opportunities, and we're going to talk about what that looks like. So up first, I have Science Center and Sensory Center. So during this portion of class, students are expected to interact with materials, explore, to be curious, to collaborate with other students. This is some pictures of our Science Center and our Sensory Center. Right now, it's mostly centered around bugs and insects. That's what we're learning about right now. So we have different life cycles of different not plants, bugs. Right now, we're looking at the ladybug. We have magnifying glasses, binoculars, and different materials for the students to use. There's also sheets that show different kinds of insects and what makes them different, their different body parts. Learning more about caterpillars, and right here in our sensory section, it allows for children to look for different bugs in dirt, which is a lot of fun. Next up, for our play and routine expectations, we have morning movement and recess. So expectations are pretty clear for recess when they are off the playground. Right here is the list of playground rules. They do share a playground with the kindergarten students, but all of those things still apply to the kiddos. There's lots of different options for them to play around. They're expected to be respectful of the space and their peers, but also still explore. And during morning movement, we typically do Danny Go videos where children are expected to follow along and just have fun. Next up, we have cleanliness and hand washing, and those routines are typically listed for students to see. So up here, we have our hand washing song along with the directions on how to properly wash our hands, going from at the sink to using our soap, our sanitizer, wiping off and where all of our different materials for that are. And then we also have just cleanliness, making sure all of our things are well organized in our labeled cubbies and all of that good stuff. Our last routine is morning meeting and large group time. This is typically done on the carpet. We do have a smart board at the front of the classroom. We review the month, what day we're on, what day it is. Sometimes we'll do activities. This shows a dance that the students learned how to do. We also have our class helpers listed here. This is a great way to show kids what they are responsible for and what they're expected to do during the day, along with our daily schedule, our weather that we go over in the morning, and our different shapes and things that we're learning about up front. So next we're going to talk about age appropriateness for expectations. So first we're going to look at the Science Center and Sensory Center. So this main domain is going to be scientific reasoning with the subdomain scientific inquiry. So children observe and describe phenomenons such as objects, materials, organisms, events. We see this in the Science Center as they're playing with different objects, they're exploring, they're looking at all these different insects and learning what makes them different and similar. And so this goes along with identifying the 5 senses: smell, touch, sight, sound, taste, and uses them to make observations. The students are using observational tools to extend the five senses, such as magnifying glasses, microscopes, binoculars, stethoscopes. They're also describing observable phenomena using adjectives and labels, such as lemons taste sour and Play-Doh feels sticky. Students also are able to see what represents observable phenomenons with pictures, diagrams, and 3D models. Moving on to our next routine, which is our morning movement and recess. This falls under the perpetual motor and physical development, the subdomain being gross motor. So children are demonstrating control, strength, and coordination of large muscles. This one's especially seen when we are outside, when students are on swings, running around, using the tricycles. But it's also seen in morning movement as they practice their dance moves as they follow along in those Danny Go videos. So they're demonstrating balance and large muscle movements, such as walking on a log without falling or balancing on one leg. They're performing activities that combine and coordinate large muscle movements, including swinging on a swing, climbing on a ladder, or dancing to music. They demonstrate strength and stamina that allows for a wide range of physical activities, such as running or playing tag. On to our next two. Next up, we did have our cleanliness and hand washing. The main domain we're looking at here again is perceptual, motor, and physical development. However, the subdomain is health, safety, and nutrition. So the children are demonstrating personal hygiene and self-care skills. We see this in the cubbies when they're organizing and taking pride and ownership in their own things, as well as keeping their space clean and organized. On top of personal hygiene of making sure they're washing their hands, but not only washing their hands, but washing them correctly as they follow that instructional chart up above the hand washing station. So they wash their hands with soap and water. They know how to do this before eating, using the bathroom, or after blowing a nose. Throughout the year, they increasingly having the ability to take responsibility for participating in personal and self-care skills, such as brushing teeth or getting dressed. So this is a really great stepping stone to contributing to students' personal hygiene and self-care skills. The last one we have, again, is our morning meeting and large group time. This domain is going to be the language and communication, and the subdomain is going to be attending and understanding. So during this point in time, children attend to communication and language as others. We see this as they interact with the morning videos about what's going on in the school, as they talk about what they did this weekend, when they interact with their morning time leader, as they ask questions about what day is it, what number day is it, what year is it, how many days have we been in school. So they're using both verbal and nonverbal signals to acknowledge the comments or questions of others, and they show ongoing connections into a conversation, group discussion, or presentation. All of these things are accurate within those morning meetings and our large group time together. So as far as improvements for age appropriateness, these examples of age appropriateness all align with the Head Start Early Learning Outcomes framework. However, there are 3 ways that we can enhance classroom experiences through the age appropriateness to build more innovative, collaborative, and respectful learning environments. So the first one is to use a daily arrival time to set the tone for positive guidance. The next would be to create more opportunities for teamwork amongst teachers and students within the classroom. And the last I have is to ensure smooth transitions. Right now we do our sing song of hands up, stand up, and we have a leader during the day who lets us know it's going to be a transitional time, but I think there could be a lot of opportunities for ways that students could communicate that it's time to transition, making that flow a little bit easier in terms of just getting students' attention and maintaining it as well. Next up, we have communication of expectations. So expectations are established at the beginning of the school year in order to establish classroom transparency and boundaries. This is done for both parents and students. Students are provided with verbal communication and are reminded throughout the year. This could be verbally, so you're reminding the student, telling them, oh, make sure we do this, or we need to make sure we do this, and this happens at this time. Or with posters around the classroom going back to the hand washing, that tells us what different steps we need to do. Or if you look at our learning library, it tells you what is expected of you in that station, and that's maybe to be quiet or to spend some time alone. Parents also are provided with verbal and written communication. They have a board at the front of the classroom as well to remind them throughout the year of what's going on in the classroom, what they can do to better support their students, etc. Okay, so communications of expectations. These are just a few examples. So these are our classroom jobs. They move around. There's different names on the different clips so that students know who is doing what. This again is our hand washing sink, and it lists directions for how to wash our hands. This is the parenting board. All of these documents are sent home in a packet for parents, but this is an easy resource for them to look at just so they have a better idea of what is going on with students. And then again, outside, we have rules posted for little kiddos so that if they forget or they need a gentle reminder, this is a great resource for us to point them to so that we can work together to ensure that students and teachers are on the same page. So next, we're going to talk about appropriateness of communication. So the current methodology of communication is appropriate for not only preschool age children, but their parents as well. Boundaries and expectations are addressed early on, both transparently and respectfully by the educator. In addition to this, there are resources, i.e., posters, the parent wall, etc., used as tools throughout the school year to help remind students, ensuring accountability. The educator also goes as far to communicate classroom expectations both visually and verbally to accommodate a variety of individuals. One suggestion I do have is utilizing positive reinforcement so that when educators are establishing boundaries, the child feels safe, supported, and valued. The child enjoys being told that they are doing a good job, which can be a great way to minimize challenging behaviors in the classroom. Last on our list, we have cultural and family values and alignment. So the culture and family values do align with the values of the children in the classroom. One great example of this is the activities and lessons centered around each child's culture during the holiday season. Students learn about different foods, activities, folklore, and traditions centered around a variety of family practices. And this is a great way to unify students and celebrate diversity. One of my favorite activities we did during the winter session with my kiddos was reading different picture books from different cultures talking about how they celebrate the colder months. And that was a great way for students to bring their home lives and their own traditions into the classroom and really celebrate everybody's individuality in the classroom. These are my references. Thanks, guys.